Hello guys, Samu7 here, and coming here with an Advanced Warfare gameplay in 2019. Pretty cheesy, probably pretty unexpected, but yeah, I've been looking for something to play like for the next month or for different games to play, and lead up to Modern Warfare. And one thing that you can always do is go back to other like past COD games if you want to, and I wanted to go back to Advanced Warfare because of course, like this game is pretty old at this point, and the player base has definitely died down. And with the new consoles coming out as well here soon, I think this is probably going to be like the last chance to really get like consistent games here on Advanced Warfare. Which I do. You can't really play any other playlist, but when you play TDM, you can definitely get games fairly consistently and not really have to worry about having to wait too long. Sometimes the wait times can be a little bit longer than it would be like in this game's prime, but it's still like compared to other games not too long. And then seems to me that when people get in a lobby in this game, they wanna play for a little bit, so you can get some good sessions going down. But yeah, I just thought it would be like the last chance here. New consoles coming out, new game coming out. This game's already like several years old, several iterations of COD old, and you're probably just not going to be able to get lobbies at like this kind of decent rate that we're able to right now, here in the near future. So I want to take advantage of that and like take a trip down memory lane here with all the stuff that I used to enjoy about this game. I used to play this game mostly competitively, so I didn't play pubs that much, and when I did, I usually just focused on the same stuff I would use in competitive. So like here I'm using the ASM-1, very frequent gun that I'd use, or the BAL, and I'd pretty much only use those two guns because I didn't want to, like, unless there was a different gun that came out that was going to be effective, I didn't want to mess around with it. I didn't want to like build muscle memory towards a different gun. I wanted to focus on the guns that I was supposed to use, and I wanted to really like train those as hard as I possibly could have. So I tried to like stray away from any other stuff so that I didn't want to pull a nade shot and end up pulling out the HPR or anything stupid and get used to a gun that just like wasn't as effective. So that's basically why I pretty much only use these two guns, and that's what's been fun about going through this game for the last couple days, because I have been playing it like semi consistently for the last almost week or so. It's not that long yet. It's been like three or 4 days. But one thing that I've gotten with it is I've been able to use like different abilities, different guns, perks, whatever, like stuff that I just did not get to use or was not willing to try or experiment with when the game was out. And that's been really fun, because even though the game is like five or 6 years old at this point, I still feel like I'm learning stuff about it, and I still am. I'm still learning stuff about it. I'm still like experiencing new things in the game, which is pretty cool, because it's cool to have a game like if I went back to Black Ops 4, like 5 years in the future, I feel like I wouldn't learn that much about it, because I played mostly pubs in Black Ops 4, and I tried pretty much everything, so there wouldn't be like much for me to much in terms of like a new experience there. It would mostly be like, oh sick, I'm gonna try Black Ops 4 again. Here's the Maddox. Yeah, I use the Maddox a lot. Here's the SOG. Oh yeah, remember that gun. Here's the Switchblade. So it wouldn't be as interesting to me, because I already experienced most of that. This game is interesting to me because I only experienced like such a specific like niche community of the game, where in competitive a lot of stuff is banned, a lot of stuff is just not used. So it just feels like a completely different game, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's weird because just playing it in pubs feels like a completely different game. There's all these, on top of like just the weapons that I would use, there's also like weapon variants in this game, which I had forgotten about. So like here I'm using the Speakeasy version of the ASM-1, which I just happen to have, and that's like interesting too, because I don't think the weapon variants were a very good idea in this game. It doesn't really bother me that much. I don't think they're that insane. Some of them are pretty crazy, but it doesn't really bother me like that much. But definitely I'm glad that other CODs have not brought back the weapon variant system of this game. That was not a very good system. One thing that was good though, when I was going back through it, is this game had like score streak upgrades, which is actually a really cool idea that I wish that they would bring back in new CODs. So like instead of having the Blackbird and the UAV and the counter UAV, in this game you just have the UAV, and then you can put different upgrades on it. And each upgrade that you put on a score streak makes it take more score to get. So like it starts off like the early upgrades give you like 50 more score to unlock it, and then it gets to like 100, then it gets to like 200, gets kind of crazy. I think you can put 3 upgrades on every streak, which of course can put that score like way higher, make it a lot harder to obtain. But yeah, I really like that aspect of the streaks in this game. I think it makes it kind of fresh because again, like in competitive, you didn't even use streaks at all in this game. So I come here in pubs and it's like, dang, you got all these streaks that I never really got to experience, and on top of that, you have all these upgrades for the streaks that make them better in different ways, and it's opened up like a whole new aspect of the game to me that I didn't even like think about. I didn't even remember that was a feature. Like there was so many things about this game that sort of like came back to me as I was playing it, and then once once I got an hour into it or so, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this, I remember that. The streaks thing was not one of those things. Like I did not remember that at all. And again, I would like to see them bring that back in newer CODs, because I actually think it's a really cool feature. I don't know. I think it's a good way to, like, one thing that people have been complaining about for the last like recent few CODs is streaks being boring. I think that's a pretty good way to spice them up a little bit. It gives you like a little bit of customization towards your streaks, and it introduces like a risk versus reward aspect. You put those extra upgrades on it, it's going to take you longer to obtain it, but if you do obtain it, it'll be better. You also get to like reduce the amount of streaks while in a way also increasing it. What I mean by that is, in this game there's just the UAV, but the upgrades can give you the counter UAV and the Blackbird effects, and also a bunch of different effects as well. It's got the DNA bomb, and one thing that I've been waiting to say. Well, to finish that point, bring it back. I think it's a cool system. Can make the streaks interesting again. But one last thing, another this whole video talking about like aspects of the game that I never explored. Never got a DNA bomb. Never even knew that the DNA bomb was a thing when I was playing this game, because again I was playing competitive, and it's like, who cares about the DNA bomb and that? Like, it's not gonna happen. So it was really cool to go into these pubs and get a DNA bomb, because I never got that in this game. Again, I never even knew that it was a thing for the longest time, so that was pretty dope too. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip down memory lane. Let me know like what your thoughts were on AW anywhere across the spectrum. I don't really care. I kind of want to just hear it all. And see you next time.